Ready, down, put.
Welcome to footballgameplan.com, where football makes sense. I'm Emory Hunt, the czar of the playbook, and this is another edition of On the Line of Scrimmage, where we debate topics, your chance to take on the czar of the playbook, myself, and see if you can win the debate versus me. Right now, today's contestant is our own football game plan analyst, Beazle. He's joining us today, and the topic we're going to debate is who is the best quarterback of all time. Now, Beazle, it's a lot of quarterbacks we could choose from, and a lot of guys that are deserving of the title. But I'm going to let you start first. I got a guy in mind that I think is the best quarterback of all time. But I'm going to let you start first. I play defense. I kick it off. You go. Tell me who is your best quarterback of all. Who is the greatest quarterback of all time?
Joe, well, look, man, first I want to tell you, thank you for putting me on the inaugural, debate show. No better person to debate with than the boy Beazle, but you know what it is. But let me go ahead on and get straight down to the point, go take this thing to the house like Hester. So, what we're going to talk about first is like you said, a lot of quarterbacks, people could go the Elway route, they could go the moon route, and things. But I'm going to just keep it, this is going to be cliche Monday. I'm about to be so cliche, it's just not even funny. So, the honorable mention dude for me is Dan Marino. Dan Marino, stats, charisma, putting the team on your back, prettiest release, tightest spiral you've probably ever seen, cannon on, he had everything, and he always went to the underdog. So that's what I like. He could have went anywhere, so I'm going to go to Pitt. Nobody cared about Pitt since the set, but I'm going to go to Pitt. Underdog. I went to the Dolphins. I had super duper, and that's it. Underdog. So it's like you continuously the underdog and you get it done. So I got to give him his props, but it's not quite that because he couldn't get that right. You know what I'm saying? So I hate to say it, and I know everybody talk about it. The ring overrated. Hall of it don't matter to me because you need a ring to solidify yourself to be number one. You know what I'm saying? So that's just me. I'm sorry, because he got close enough. But he couldn't will him pass, He
so you can hold a ring against him?
And he couldn't run. He couldn't run.
Okay.
He was playing electric football. He was I'm just gonna stand here. I'm a mime. I'm in a box. I'm in a glass box. All I gotta do is stick my arm out the box. And that's it. So I was just gonna let him have that one. But to get off of him and on to the man, the myth, the legend, the movie quarterback. He the natural of football, dog. And I can't understand why people continue to discredit him. Well, we had one of the greatest teams assembled all the time. What about the first Super Bowl? And leading to that, Joe Montana, Tony Montana, Joe Montana, the golden hair, golden dome, gunslinger. Gunslinger in the sense of, let me bring gunslinger back. The surgeon. We're going to call him the surgeon Joe Montana. Why? 71.4%, 65% completion over his career, Super Bowls, MVP. When he threw the ball in the air, classical music came on. Every time he hiked the ball, classical music. Better yet, even better than classical music, Mission Impossible music. I want you to go and look at some footage of Joe Montana, and when he hiked the ball, somebody just comes under the ball. It's almost like if you ever remember John Elway football, when you threw the ball, the man never really caught the ball. The ball just stuck to him like Velcro. That's how Joe Montana was. The man just stuck to him the ball stuck to him like Velcro. So the minute he hiked the ball, touchdown. That's the view.
Now see, I appreciate the theatrics, I appreciate the enthusiasm, but you're clearly misguided. Obviously, the greatest quarterback of all time has to be Otto Graham. And you say, who is Otto Graham? I'll tell you who Otto Graham is. This is a guy that played 10 years in the league. 10. 7 out of the 10, he won championships. Matter of fact, out those 10 years he was in the league, he went to the championship game 10 years. Every year he played, he went to the championship game. And he was not just a guy that just handed the ball off to Marion Motley or whoever was in the backfield. This was back. He threw a lot of times for the game. He threw for wins. He threw for touchdowns. He had, 7 out of those 10 seasons, he had more touchdowns than interceptions. And keep in mind, this was back in the day when passing the football was racist. So this guy really was throwing the football, doing something that we haven't seen. Otto Graham, wore number 60, so you got to give him props for that. Led the Cleveland Browns to 10 straight championship game appearances. No quarterback has ever done that since, and no quarterback will ever do that again.
Let me reel off some numbers for you, E. Because Otto Graham is Tim Tebow's great-granddaddy. So can't sit up here and say, hey, champion. That's the Tim Tebow argument. So I'm just crediting you, and you are wrong on the grounds of building the Tim Tebow argument on this podcast, internet cast, whatever you want to call it. Here you go, and I'm going to tell you why. Minimum completions, like you said, because he played in the days where they never threw the ball. 54%, 55%, 49%. Never was over, only 1 year he was over 60%. Every other year under 50. Such that if I threw the ball 9 times, they only caught 4 of them.
You got to consider the time of the day he was throwing the ball.
And if you got, this is the thing. If you told me, hey, 60% passing, and I threw the ball 10 times, that's cold. That's 60%. But you ain't throwing the ball 10 times. You threw the ball under 50% of the time. If he played now, he'd be a wide receiver. Yep. So you got to look at the transcendence. You got to transcend. Like Joe Montana can play in any era and perform. If he played in the 50s, he'd be the 90s. If he played in the 90s, which he did, but if he played later in the 90s, he'd be Joe Montana. If he played in 2000, if he played in the latter part of 2000, he'd be Drew Brees. Him and Drew Brees putting identical numbers.
I gotta stop you right there. There's no way.
High completion percentage ever, 71% 1 year.
I tell you right now, 114 and 20 as a starting quarterback. No one will ever do that again. This is a guy, again, 10 championships straight. No one will ever do that. Then you look at a guy 93 in the playoffs. So he was money when it counted. Otto Graham right now, think about it. I could name 5 quarterbacks from the 49ers since Montana or before Montana, total in their history. You can't name 2. Cleveland only had 2 quarterbacks in their history. Graham and Kozar. Everybody else don't matter. Tell me I'm lying.
You're not lying, but let me tell you this. He played before the merger. They only had 3 teams, 4 teams. It was 5 teams. Here you go. It was the Browns, it was the Bears, it was the Giants, and it was the Packers. So how you go? Of course I'm gonna go to the championship every year. It's only 4 teams.
So I'll tell you right now, who currently
had no chalk on the field?
Who coaches?
So how you go? Like, that's the thing. You playing against 30 teams, my dude. You playing against 30 of them things. Like,
back when Montana played, was only 28. There was no Jacksonville. There was no Carolina.
It was the NFL. It wasn't the AFL like the Browns played in. It wasn't the Super Bowl. It was none of that with Otto Graham.
Don't matter. That was before Montana too. The Super Bowl. Super Bowl just came out in '67. But I'll tell you right now, Otto Graham still to this day, and he's dead. God rest his soul. But still to this day, holds the record for the longest yards per reception, yards per completion, yardage. He holds that record at 9. No quarterback in this passing league averages 9 yards a throw.
No, back then, no zone defense, because they didn't need it. No real athleticism, because they didn't need it. And Otto Graham was a runner. Otto Graham did everything. Otto Graham did everything.
That's my point.
I'm not putting it past him, but people were so scared that he was going to run, he probably sat down there and did the Tecmo Bowl and ran a circle and then threw it to a wide open man. And then we got to look at it like this. I didn't know what cryogenic chamber you got, E, because I didn't know you was alive in 1940. So I don't understand how you can get the same effect for watching Soul of the Game to watch a YouTube highlight and somebody could have paid up. So what you trying to tell me, you got the Bill and Ted time machine and transfer back.
I tell you right now, 9-time Pro Bowler, 7-time All Pro. I have to leave it at that. And so,
bring the Bill and Ted time machine because I want to go back in time too.
We gonna let we both made some good arguments, but we gotta let the fans decide who wins this debate. So, fans, you guys decide who won this debate by voting at the bottom of the video. Vote for either me or Beazle. Vote, vote, vote. And if you feel as though you can compete with either one of us in a debate, all you have to do is tweet me at Football Gameplan or at FBall Gameplan with your topic and the hashtag debate me and FBGP debates. Matter of fact, let's do it that way. If you feel as though you can debate me, then you just leave me a message on Twitter, tweet me at FBall Gameplan with the hashtag FBGP debates. We're gonna let you decide who won this debate